and welcome back to the D302 show. I'm Lucas Vargas.
I'm Addy, and today we got a special guest with us.
I'm Isaac Williker.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we mentioned last week how we're going to bring you on to the podcast, and now we actually have you on.
Yeah, a little nerve-wracking.
Right. You could probably move just a little close. There you go. But so yeah, so we're gonna interview Isaac today.
Okay, so we had to bring in the scuffed chair from the hallway because we only have 2 chairs in our dorm room, so we had to steal another chair.
Yeah, it still has a lot of bubble wrap on it.
Hopefully, the mics don't pick it up, but I had to carry that through the hallway. But all right. So first, I think we should talk about how we met you and how we became friends in the first place. And so I'll just tell it from my perspective. For me, it was the Thursday, the first Thursday of the school year. And me and Addy were just eating dinner in the SU. And that's when this weird kid just walked up to us and was like,
okay.
And this weird kid just walked up to us and was like, "Can I sit with you guys?" And I recognized you from the hall meeting the week before. And we just said, yeah. And ever since then, we all just kind of hung out with each other and been like friends.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I didn't know a lot of people. It was the start of the year. I figured they didn't know a lot of people.
Yep.
So
We did
I was
not.
just
We
like,
didn't.
all right, whatever.
I think it was Tinsley and I who had their first run-in with Isaac in
Yeah.
the what was that?
Commons.
Commons. It was a Commons, yeah. And then I think it was either that because we remember it was like a taco. It was like a Mexican event at the SU. That's what it
Right?
was.
Yeah, like a Taco Thursday.
Yeah, is that what it was?
I
It
don't
was
know.
something
It was
Mexican
like,
related.
yeah, they had a bunch of tacos from Qdoba and stuff.
And then that's the second time we bumped into Isaac, and that's when it solidified that like.
I totally thought we just met at lunch. I thought
At
our
lunch?
first meet. I don't remember.
I think it was
I don't remember a taco thing.
really.
No, it was a taco thing. Because I
'Cause
think that's when you guys first met. Was at the
Right.
taco thing.
it was that night. It was during the night because they shut down Commons for the night. It made everyone go to the SU
Oh,
to
I
eat
For
think-
Fresh
dinner.
Fusion.
I
For
think I
Fresh.
remember.
No, I don't think it was. School year had actually started.
Maybe. you're right.
I thought I just like went up to you guys at lunch. I thought it was you two and Tinsley and like Eric or somebody.
Oh well, God,
Yeah.
Eric didn't come in the pictures a long time later.
Maybe it was somebody else. I
Because
don't know.
you met him through the Valorant team, no?
That's when I started.
With Tinsley.
Maybe it was
Yep.
Tracy.
No.
Tracy?
No.
Right.
But yeah, that's our first run-in with
We
Isaac.
should have had a podcast the first year, just so we could have documented this.
I'm telling you, that's why I do these for memories. You know,
Right.
I freaking love memories.
Yeah.
But so like we mentioned, we're gonna interview you. So we're gonna see how this goes. You know, it's our first guest, so we're all pretty excited. At least I know I am. So would you want to? I know we mentioned sort of it last episode, but would you want to like tell the audience like your major
Sure.
and your year and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm a sophomore. I'm also going to NKU with these two idiots.
Oh,
WW.
Currently studying mechatronics, engineering, technology. It's not quite an engineering degree. Not sure I could force myself to do all the math, but the goal is still to do some sort of engineering. And I'll probably just have to kind of get there on my own instead of just working for a company. But I'm all right with that.
Well, that's
On a side note, do you see NKU got like a big like thing for the engineering department
Like
recently?
money?
Yeah, I think they're like getting more majors, or they're getting more like.
I mean, they're building a new building for
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So recently they got like a huge amount of money to do something.
it's going
Yeah.
between Landrum and the science building, no?
Yeah.
That's what you were telling us.
Yeah, in
that
that field, yeah. So
The
I'm
one with the
excited.
staircase that's kind of like
The one you walked between Commons and
that one. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, that's cool. Hopefully it's like Griffin, because Griffin's a cool ass building.
Yeah.
I hope the engineering building's cool too.
Yeah, I mean,
not
it's-
another Landrum.
it's gonna
I
be
can't deal with
connected to
that.
the science building. So like I don't
Oh,
know if
is
they're
it?
gonna repeat the theme or if they're gonna do something new. I don't know.
The
I-
science building isn't too old, but it feels kind of old, you know.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean
what-
it looks cool.
What building did you have your what building's the honor college in? Like you had your arena in?
Founders. That was in Founders Hall.
okay.
Founders Hall is nice.
Founders Hall. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Founders Hall is older, but then they redid it, and then when they put the Health Innovation Center on, the Health Innovation Center is newer, but they didn't really go with that theme. That it looks cooler than the actual Founders Hall does, but Founders Hall still has sort of that older look to it.
Yeah.
While
At least on the outside.
Right.
I'd say the inside looks nice. They got
Yeah, I know
the
they
science
redid it.
labs and like it's crazy in there.
And there's like a huge, just like open space in the middle that is fun to look at. But I don't know.
And the staircases, it's crazy. The glass staircases and everything, you know. You guys
Do
know
they
what I'm
have
talking about?
glass staircases?
Mhm.
Where at?
Wow.
Well, it's not the actual bottom's not glass, but there's like huge glass like panels. It's in Founders Hall inside the circle thing that you were talking about.
At the in sort of in the Health Innovation Center?
No,
Okay, then no, I've never seen it.
that's cool. It's right outside the arena, kind of. It's
Oh,
behind
okay.
the arena. It's so cool though.
We'll have to check it out one day. But this is making no sense to anyone that like doesn't go to NKU.
That's fair. Yeah.
But who cares? Who cares?
True.
Actually, this is probably going to be like the first episode. I think we said we're going to share with people now.
Yeah.
So we got to make this one a good one. We got to start shaping up.
It just no campus is cool, guys. It's a smallish campus though, but there's a lot. There's a lot in it.
I'm glad I ended up going here though, because like I ended up meeting you too.
Yeah, and it's not in the middle of a city like UC.
Yeah, screw UC.
The free, but I like how UC is like 10 minutes away though. You know.
Have you
Hey, it's-
seen their Yik Yaks?
Unfortunately, bro. Unfortunately, I have. They always got something popping though. You know, always got
Yeah.
something crazy.
I
So
think
it sounds fun.
because they always have like they always have those parties going on
Mhm.
on those streets and stuff. Yeah, NKU is not like that,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
NKU goes up there to party.
Yeah,
probably.
That is what everyone does.
But all right. So, do you have any questions for Isaac Edison? I know you.
Well, I know for this podcast, I wanted to talk a little bit more about science, right?
Right.
Because I know science. Isaac and I, we've had a lot, and Danny. Danny's an OG here. Maybe I'll send this to Danny too. But
R.I.P.
We used to
Danny.
talk about science. All three of us, we would go crazy about whether it's like. I mean, it'd mainly just be Isaac and Danny yelling at each other back and forth. But I loved it because I would sit and I would understand a fair amount of it. But God, I had so much fun.
Yeah, we Danny and I, he was another engineering major, and we stayed up till 5 a.m. several times just
That's
discussing various philosophies. And
Yeah.
it was.
Like literally, like it'd be like the most efficient way to make a water wheel or something. Something so simple, but they would have two very different takes, and they would just go back at it with each other.
Yeah, we also discussed a lot of like AI stuff and
I remember
like,
those. Those are
uploading
fun.
your consciousness and stuff
Dude,
like that.
Okay, crazy you mentioned this because I'm actually watching a show right now where people, it's in the future kind of, but you're allowed to like, you know how everything has information attached to it?
Yeah,
They can like download someone and then upload them at a different point in time.
That's actually cool.
It's crazy good
Huh.
though. It's really good.
It's a K drama, no?
Yeah, yeah.
you didn't even have to ask.
I know.
Yeah,
That's the
assume,
only thing
Just
he watches.
assume.
That is what I watch. You know, I'm on my 25th episode right now,
Really?
or 25th show. Sorry,
Okay.
How do you have time for Valorant?
Yeah,
I
this
just-
man's literally like
I just watch it every now and then.
D3.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is a side tangent too. I just wanted to say how last episode you said you and Isaac were gonna talk about science the whole time, and it was gonna go over my head. But then literally at dinner, you go, "Did you guys know that if you eat a certain amount
Oh
of
my
almonds, you're gonna
goodness.
get radiation poisoning?" And I go, "Cyanide poisoning,"
Yeah.
and then that's when you go, "Same thing," because you
I
thought,
thought it was the same thing though.
but you thought cyanide, a chemical,
Yeah.
was the same as radiation and energy.
Yeah. Radiation is made up of particles, but not chemicals. Those particles are like electrons, not like bromine.
What if we make Isaac like the Bill Nye of this? Like,
Oh.
whenever something happens, we're like, I have to fact check this with our Bill Nye guy.
Oh,
And
jeez.
we'll
That's a lot
like,
of pressure.
dude, we could just have you on like
Speed dial.
yeah, real quick, and then like, say we have a question, we're like, oh crap, did you guys hear about this news that came, the science news that came in the week? And then we'll just like FaceTime you real quick, and we'll be like, Isaac, what can you tell us about this? And you're like, well,
Holding a microphone, like
exactly. And it's like the weatherman. You'll be our weatherman. And then like we're like, thank you, Isaac. Now back on with the
Actually, like a little
D302 show.
segment of just let's see what's happening with Isaac.
Right? Yeah. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
or like Friday check-ins. Just I'm in the middle of a nuclear reactor.
Even even though we shoot this on Tuesday.
Well, nothing's perfect.
That's
That-
the one last week we
Last
uploaded
week's-
a Friday, I think. Friday.
And Friday morning, because it was just such a struggle to even get the Thursday one recorded. And then once we got it recorded, actually, I edited it pretty quickly, but then it didn't export correctly. It only exported 10 minutes. I'm sure some people saw that there was only a 10-minute show published. And I didn't even realize it until I got into bed that night. And I looked at my phone on YouTube because we do publish the show on YouTube for anyone that this is the first episode. The D302 show is on YouTube. You can go watch us. We have like a little set going on. Anyways,
We also, sorry, I wanted to interrupt. We do stream it live as well on Twitch.
True.
On my Twitch channel at
Yo,
Yo
Addy.
Addi. A is Yo YOADDII, right?
How do you forget to spell your own name?
I don't
you
know,
go
man.
AD.
Like it's like you'll figure it out
It's a
somewhere.
little sad.
We'll put it in the description. We should put it in
Do
the
we have an
description.
Instagram page yet?
No,
Okay, or Twitter. We'll get something figured out soon.
not Twitter. I
Okay,
told you.
Instagram page. We'll
I
get an
still have.
Instagram
They are
page.
very prepared.
No, I just have nightmares from the Two Dummies One Podcast.
Oh,
Twitter,
okay.
Where it's
okay.
literally just me and my mom following it. Garrett, the other co-host, like I said, didn't even follow it. That was so sad.
That's awkward.
Okay, so going back to a little bit about you, right? What is the future? Like, what is mechatronics just like? It's because it's more than AI, right? Or like, it's more like robots, like the physical side of robots, right?
Yeah, it's mechatronics is the engineering field that's like bridging electrical and mechanical together. And with that, there is some coding involved. Usually you just hire a programmer because everyone hates coding. But for the most part, it's doing like motors and controllers and sensors and making the robot move how you want it to, or machine. It doesn't have to be like an actual robot. But it's going to be super important in the future. I mean, it's super important now, but
So it's more like the physical side of things then?
yeah. You're focusing more on the physical, but you're also not forgetting about the software side
Yeah.
because that's what actually makes everything move.
Right.
So you still need to consider how all that's going to work, but you're not the one actually doing that. That job falls to somebody else.
So, are you going to be the one that's building the McDonald's robots that take our order in the future?
I don't know about McDonald's, but yeah, hopefully robots.
Have you seen the conveyor belts in like the big cities for McDonald's? It's like a self-ran like. So they have the normal like thing where you can go in and do your order without meeting someone face to face.
the kiosk.
Yeah, the kiosk thing, and then like your order will come through on a what are they called? I just said
conveyor belt.
conveyor belt. Yeah, and it just comes to you wherever you sit.
Huh.
It's really cool.
I've not seen that yet.
I've seen them in airports.
Oh,
I think it was the Minnesota airport.
why
I
are
might
you
have
asking
even
me?
been on TikTok. I might have even seen it on TikTok. But it was cool.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of robots producing food in the
Oh, for
future.
sure.
Like, some of it's more challenging than other parts, but so many things can be done with robotics, and like on a bigger picture scale. I mean, I'm hoping to see robots just replace the need to work for a lot of people, like not just replace their jobs, but their need for actual like.
Yeah, I hate the argument that robots will take over jobs, but I think in I think the bigger picture is that it'll just raise the bar of like what you need to know. No,
Well, I think it'll open up
more jobs as well. Yeah,
But also at the same time, I feel like I feel like me and you, especially Addy, probably really don't know too much to say if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
right now, even before anything too big has happened or started.
Yeah, like it's not so much that robots are going to take away your jobs and it's going to force you into a new field. Like for some people that will, but in the future that's coming, robots will be able to handle so many things that like our needed workforce just won't be as big as our population.
Right.
And what I want to happen is like the billionaires to actually give all that extra money to people so that they can live, because there aren't jobs for them and they don't need to work, but we should still supply those people. But for those that do actually do work in that future, yeah, they'll have to be a lot more technically advanced.
We'll see. That's the thing. Well, like I know you're saying like for people to actually live off, but like even me, like when I got my first job at 15 and stuff, if they're like, I don't really think I could be going into that field that early. Like you're saying, just raising the bar automatically and stuff. A 15-year-old Lucas could not be helping.
Well,
like with
that's
that.
why it's important that, it's why it's important you recognize that like there won't be a job for you. There won't be a McDonald's job for you to go into,
Right.
and either those people suffer and don't have money, or you support them because there's no other way to get that in a future where there aren't jobs. Like you just have to support them or they will struggle. Like,
That's why I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but in high school these days, they offer programming classes that are mandatory for kids to take now.
Really?
For just, I don't know if it's exposure or just like they recognize that the bar will get raised at some point. So it's nice to just know it, because even though they might not like use it, like kind of like you treat it the same as you would treat like a music class, but it'd be nice to just know, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it makes it a lot less mysterious.
Yeah.
What's behind the
Well, so like even like I know you're saying this is a future, but like
literally 10 years from now.
yeah, but like 10 years from now, like are you telling me that the McDonald's located in little old Paris, Kentucky, that's where I'm from, and like we have a population of what, 8,000 people? So are they going to be all automated and stuff?
specifics like that are a lot harder to look at and
Mhm.
like see. I will say that there's a good chance, maybe not 10 years, but 15, 20. I mean, look at Tesla's newest robot. Like it's gonna interact with the world like a human will,
Right.
which will fill a lot of things that need a human for them to do, but don't need that level of adaptation that humans are capable of. They just need that physical presence.
A lot of it too is just repetition, right?
Yeah.
Because a robot doesn't care if it does a task 50 times in a row,
Right.
whereas a person will. That's why like some production lines out there are just fully like autonomous now, you know?
Mhm.
Not a single, they have people managing them and making sure no errors happen. But it eliminated jobs, but it makes things easier, so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it saves somebody from like these videos are super popular on the internet, but like factory workers, like you see videos of them just doing like
Yeah.
all day long.
Like
and,
sweatshops
Right.
in Asia, you know?
and a robot could fill that job so that somebody's not destroying their arm for a measly paycheck and I'm sure they have better things to be doing. Like,
So you definitely see this as like a good thing.
oh yeah. I mean,
There's good things and bad things.
Well, yeah, but I want his opinion, not
everything
yours.
can be good or bad. It depends on how we use it. If the billionaires just keep making more money and replacing workers so they don't have to pay them, that's going to be really bad. There will be lots of people without jobs and no way to get jobs. And in a capitalist economy, like you need money to survive. There's no other way around it. But if governments step in and are like, all right, this production represents this amount of people that deserve to be paid, therefore they will be paid. And that's hard to do on a more individual scale, but as like, let's say 70% of our production becomes robotic, that gets much easier to be like, all right, you 70% of the population decided randomly, decided from some metric, maybe those who need like they have medical issues and need time off, get it first. But you just start slowly phasing people out of the workforce that don't need to work. And then you keep those who are willing or that you need to working, but or you substitute their hours so that it ends up being one person is in 1 day a week and the next day it's another person, like just so you distribute it out more and we're doing a lot less work collectively.
Wow. Yeah. Like I understand. It's going over my head, but I'm still
Oh,
understanding.
really?
Like no, it's not going on there. It's just I feel like I'm not really like I guess educated enough to have an opinion on this. Like you know, like
The crazy thing though, you know,
I just don't know anything to say anything.
this will be quite literally the reality in the next 20 years. Because like, you know, have you seen the chart of like how like much we've advanced since like the 1900s or like,
Yeah.
like even sorry before like 1700s.
Well, yeah.
We're growing
But-
like exponentially.
Well,
you
like
know?
that Industrial Revolution really kicked things off, huh?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, a lot of it.
But even like I've even seen like people have discourse over like the bots and stuff and the AIs and stuff that create artwork and stuff on like Dolly and stuff, and just seeing that like how people are saying, yeah, in the future when this progresses enough, they're saying that like even that might eliminate the need for artistic oriented people and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it would eliminate the need for them, but it doesn't eliminate the want for them, because like an AI can create a beautiful piece of art,
right.
but the bush in that picture isn't going to have meaning. Whereas if someone painted it, it would likely mean something. And I feel like that's a big part with art. Like it has to come off and give you something to take away. And I don't know how well that would work if like you knew that wasn't organically created.
But I'm thinking of like the things that even businesses that honestly probably won't even care if that bush has meaning. They just want cheap, efficient work done right now.
Yeah, you might be out of a job. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, okay. Like, even just like looking at the past few movie posters where just a bunch of floating heads and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely can see a future here soon where an AI would be able to recreate that in no time.
That gets complicated because the AI has to assign value to something.
Like emotional value.
Yeah, like even when you're looking at a like movie poster that has a bunch of floating heads, they're still arranged in a specific way. The person holding a weapon is still holding the weapon a specific way. And there's a lot of just human, not objectiveness, but subjectiveness that AIs just don't have that ability to do.
Not yet, but I see a future. Well, they'll
We see a lot of futures, guys. This is like
Yeah.
our third.
no, they'll train them to the point where they'll recognize what's a good poster and what's a bad poster.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
So they recognize this poster will be liked by more than this poster that looks like that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you teach a given it enough time? Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. But like, how do you do you just take a survey?
A
from,
lot
like-
of surveys. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be what was Steve Harvey? What was that show?
Oh, Family Feud.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do idea for future podcast episode. I think it'd be funny doing like our own version of Family Feud
Yeah.
somehow. That shows
That's the like you are not the father, right?
no. That's
oh.
that's
oh, that's something Murphy.
that's
said.
Star
Murray.
Wars.
What? No,
That's-
not
that's
Star Wars.
Murray.
Bill Murray.
No, that
No,
What?
something Murphy's.
Family Feud
Murray.
is like
Oh, Murray.
Name something that
Oh,
people do,
that-
and
yeah,
then there's
that
like
guy.
eight things that you
Yeah.
need to. Yeah,
yeah. It's like name the 8 things people drive, and it's like
and then somebody will say a banana, and the crowd
Yeah.
is like, "What the?"
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, that-
But it's
that
literally
sounds
the
like-
worst answer ever. You know. Yeah, I do remember that show. That's like that was on like when I woke up at like 2 a.m. dying of thirst.
really.
Sometimes Family
Forgot
Feud.
to
you know.
turn off the TV.
Yep.
Have you ever watched the George Lopez show? Because I know that's
I love that show, man. Actually rewatched it a few years ago.
really.
Uh-huh.
I remember like I don't even know why. It was like either spring break or fall break, and it was just really like stormy one day, and I just watched I just watched the George Lopez show all day.
Why'd they do that show so dirty?
I,
Because it was only on like late at night.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Well, they
not
had reruns
familiar.
that day.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It was like Low Rider was the theme song,
Yeah.
and that was like the first song my dad made me learn on trumpet was Low Rider. Like it was like the second week into playing, and he's like, "Here, Lucas, can you play this?"
and then he immediately regretted it.
Well, no, because I hated playing it because like first of all, there's a bunch of notes that I hadn't even learned yet, and so he's like, and he was like trying to teach me it, and he's like, just press that finger down and play the note. It's not that hard. It was pretty.
You know
hard.
what's something you guys have on me that I can't relate to?
Band
Music.
music?
Yep, you guys have an
Yeah.
extensive music background.
Yeah, marching band.
I will say.
Was it both marching band?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you guys played two very different things, though, right?
yeah. You're a percussionist. You played
Yep.
like the xylophone and marimbas, no?
Don't insult me. Just marimba.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I played trumpet. And you
And
can
he
ask
really
my old,
likes blowing things.
okay. You can ask my old band director that I had no rhythm and I sucked. I didn't suck at band. I definitely wasn't the
I
best.
thought you said you were like second chair
I was first chair. Well, eventually.
and you sucked? Or is,
Well,
is this
I
different
just-
times?
I-
Different.
They did
No.
it off seniority.
No, like you just. I don't know. I just I had no rhythm and like it because he always leaves the example of like you. He wanted us to play music. He didn't want us to repeat music. He was like, eventually you give like a monkey a trumpet and tell him to play this. Eventually he's gonna play it. But if you won't give a musician an instrument, it's gonna sound totally different. But I was 100% the monkey, where I would just have to like, I don't know. I couldn't just get the rhythm on my own. I had to like, it was so hard. I
Yeah,
have no
mean,
internal
it's
rhythm
not
whatsoever.
so much like you just play the rhythm, but you just understand it better.
Right.
Like you just get a better feel for how much time you have and that sort of thing.
That was not me. And like I could even count it because like eventually it's honestly just easy math. It's almost like the math
Yeah.
I was like it's just you break down a measure into like a quarter. That there you go. That's a quarter note in simple 4/4.
Mhm.
But I could count it and like you had eighth notes and that's you split that quarter in half, so it's an eighth of a measure, and there you go. But still, I sucked at it. But funnily enough, I just reminded me of this. Last night I missed that day of math class last week
Ooh.
for jury duty. I had jury duty, and I don't know what made me think of it. It was just me and Addison were struggling with that math last night that we kept calling easy. Me and him were both like looking at this piece of paper, and we're like, we could not understand it.
Yeah, because like, what was the? I don't even know what the question was. Like,
It was like you had like 4 lawyers, no, and they each
you had A, B, C, and D.
right basically A B C D, and they needed to majority won right in a voting scheme, but like A was a senior partner, and so it always won. So if during a 2v2 tie, so if it was like A, B, and C, D, A, B would of course win. And I just after that I don't know, man. After that it was just all new to me.
Huh.
But we figured it out, didn't we?
I think so.
Chegg figured it out.
Oh, I thought you said it was wrong.
Okay, Chegg was wrong. Brainly figured it out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, just a random
You're
side
gonna
tangent.
study, right?
Oh no, like I went to class today, and he did like another example problem, and it was like, oh crap, that's how you do it.
Oh, gotcha.
But I still got a 10 out of 10 on the homework.
I'm proud of you.
So, but sorry, I just
No, just
I
had
just
to get it off your chest.
I had to get that off my chest. My dirty little secret, my confession. All right, Addy, you take it away now.
I'm taking it away now.
Yeah, take it away.
So we've been talking about this since freshman year, right? We want to start a business. We've all had business ideas forever. And I'm not gonna drop the business ideas for the sake of everyone here,
Appreciate
not to board them, but also not to like make
No,
someone
this
else
is-
rich.
This is confidential
It
information.
is confidential, yep. But imagine we look back on this, right,
Okay.
in the future, and this is the 3 not directors. What are they called? Like the people, like the
Founders?
of this X business.
Yeah.
How cool would that be? No,
That would be sick. You need to start busting your butt there,
Yeah.
buddy.
look, our art needs to start looking good too.
Or
Or sorry, janitor. We need to start cleaning our
Whoa,
janitor
wow.
vibes.
okay. All right. So we took a little pause there. We had to get a little water break. We were a little thirsty, but now we came back, and I think me and Addison really want to start picking your brain a bit more about space.
Uh-oh.
I could
So,
talk about space for a while.
You can talk about space.
I
Let's
think
do
so,
this.
right?
Let's do this.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Mars. We're gonna be on Mars here very soon, right?
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
I don't know about very
But
soon, but
I think so. Well, we have like. Anyways, I'm at the yikes. I'm trying to think. I don't think we'll ever like colonize it to be as big as Earth.
No way.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
yeah,
I think something will go wrong.
there's a lot of hurdles there. It kind of almost depends on what we want as a species. Like, if we're okay just hanging out on Earth, yeah, it probably won't grow that big. But Like, I mean, or unless we find something super valuable there, or we have some need to live there, yeah, it probably will never develop. But if for whatever reason there's a huge industry or a lot of money to be made, or we need space, um, yeah, I mean, we could totally set up settlements there, and it's not insanely hard. The biggest hurdle is just
Getting
starting.
there?
Yeah, the journey of 1,000 miles begins
Yeah.
with a single step. Like once you have the first structure on Mars, everything else gets easier.
Right.
So if we really wanted that, we could probably have like all the domes and all the circular
The Martian.
things. Yeah, what you typically see, that's probably what would happen. But it just depends on if we need it or not. But terraforming, like actually making it look like Earth, that is way beyond the scope of
I think
what we can do.
something will happen with humanity being greedy when we're traveling there or when we get there already. So let's say like what if we get there and then something happens with them over there and then they just stop accepting people, you know?
I mean, that's kind of what the Expanse is all about. Mars revolted and became its own like civilization, basically.
Yeah, Mars, bro.
Yeah. I would not be surprised, to be honest. I think our track record doesn't bode well in that regard.
Yeah. I think that's safe to say for everyone though.
But I know personally, I want to see a future that's more united. Like, I feel like we should be operating as a species instead of nations. And I think something like
agree.
that would help with
I was
that
gonna,
eventuality.
I was gonna say the opposite, and if like, not that I don't want to see us come together and be united, but I feel like if we came together and be united, I don't honestly think we would have a need to go to Mars, because like you were saying, any problem, like any pushing factors that would cause us to go to Mars would almost be eliminated. I know like one thing people talk about is like just global warming, and we're gonna have to escape Earth to go terraform somewhere else. But I feel like if we came together and
Yeah,
stuff,
that's just dreaming right there.
well, yeah, but
Look at the population too, dude. We're like grow like pretty soon in the next I don't know. I couldn't give you a number of years, but we're gonna be too big at some point.
So there's a lot of theories behind that.
Is it food that we'd run out of before
The
people?
experts aren't sure what
Really?
exactly would happen. There's two fields of thought. There's the Earth will naturally force us to maintain a certain population, whether that be
like limitations on food?
whether it's that, whether it's carbon, whether it's
ice tornadoes.
just space.
Okay.
We're not sure. A lot of people speculate that number is around 20 billion. But there is also the event. It's also possible that we will just continue to grow in size, and then eventually a supply chain will break down, and then we're all screwed, basically.
I think we've all seen too in the past, like since COVID happened, how easy a supply chain is easy to break, you know?
Yeah, they're super fragile.
So imagine something like that with something as crucial as like just medicine or water, or, you know? Because like the dams are like not the dam in I think it's LA. That thing's almost out of water, bro. And up in Nevada too. I think they share the dam or something.
Well, that's just climate change. That's not I mean, you could say it's population related because there are people living out there, but like that immediate effect is just us destroying the environment. I mean, Pakistan recently got flooded, and they're like a quarter of the country is underwater. And it's caused by climate change. They had 600% rainfall. Like things are not going to be going well if we continue this, and it's just a snowball effect. The ice caps are going to melt. They release carbon dioxide and methane, lots of it. The Amazon rainforest is struggling, and if that burns, it'll turn to carbon that goes into the atmosphere, and it produces a lot of oxygen. It's a huge source of life. So we're, despite people not talking about it, like we're really up against some dangerous eventualities.
Like the clock is just ticking, you know? But we're not. I wish we had I kind of wish politics didn't play a part in it. I wish everyone just kind of got their shit together.
Well, there's just so much that that has been politicized that
That
should
doesn't.
not
Yeah.
like
Yep.
just like humans having rights now. Like even like the fact that you can sit there and try to like say like gay marriage and stuff shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're moving backwards
right,
now.
yeah.
yeah, the Supreme Court talking about they should also look at like the right to gay marriage, the right to contraception, like because they were like, oh, we did this with Roe v. Wade. I think we could do it with these too. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Well, they're playing a dangerous game.
oh yeah,
For real.
Yeah.
Do you think a civil war is?
I don't think a
in
civil
the realm
war-
of like possibilities.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
But I'm also not a poli sci major, so I
think
can't tell you.
I think there are enough people that recognize that
War is
this is
bad.
kind of insane. Yeah.
As much hate as like we see like about it, I feel like most people were like in support of Roe v. Wade. And
yeah,
like,
no, it's over 3/4 of the country
Right.
supports some form of abortion access, and a great portion of them support mostly unrestricted abortion access. I know I personally am pretty on board with at least the first 2 trimesters being totally open. Third trimester gets a little hairy, but I mean, at the end of the day, I also don't know that it's my place to decide any of that. So
well, I think that was the big issue is that like
Yeah.
who are you who say if someone can get an abortion or not?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate though, like,
Oh, of course we're gonna
like,
take
well,
It's
I mean,
important to play devil's advocate.
it
though.
is. You can't just assume the other side doesn't exist, but like they always put it as, but you're disregarding the life of the baby or its rights, and I don't know that I agree with that sentiment, especially like I said in the first 2 trimesters, and I also don't know that I think I value the mother's life more.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I would put the values of the mother's lives. Even I don't really see like if a woman's pregnant or if someone's pregnant, I don't really see that as like whatever they're carrying having life
Yeah.
until it's born. But at the same time, even if you do count that as like having life, I think the mother's wants and needs should become before the baby before it's born.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a lot that goes into it, you know.
yeah, we could discuss this all night, but I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I hate how we're going backwards though, because like I think it was elementary school and middle school, everything was going forward. Like it was going fantastic, you know.
Right.
The gay
The
marriage got legalized
wokeism.
and like everything was going well. And then this past like few years, everything's going backwards now.
Yeah, I mean I think the Republicans realize they can kind of do whatever they want, and the Democrats won't do anything about it.
I mean, at this point, it's the same coin.
Yeah,
It's just two sides of the same
for
coin.
the most part.
It really is.
Although the Democrats didn't try and take over our government, but
Okay.
Dude, the Capitol
But,
riots, holy
I
shit.
mean, yeah, that still is crazy.
I just I think once again, like once once the older people start dying off in the office, you know, there'll be like a new vision on things. But it's also horrible because the old people are tainting the younger generation's visions, you know?
Well, I don't even know if it's just like look at Andrew Tate and stuff, and just look at the views he's already spread to so many people, and people can say, "Oh, you know, it's the freedom of speech," but I definitely think deplatforming him was important because his speech, his freedom of speech, was almost like coming on,
Influential.
yeah,
yeah,
and was hurting the freedoms of others and stuff. Like when you're teaching young kids to mistreat women and stuff,
Yeah.
like that, you can't get on. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be able to say that. I don't care where you are. Yeah, there's no reason you should be able to say, "Hey, don't treat this person like a person."
The scary part is the amount of people that liked him.
Right.
Like, I heard about teachers hearing their kids talk about Andrew Tate and be supportive of him, and it's just, it's scary how easily those ideas can spread. I mean, I saw a video earlier today of 2 young girls at a Trump rally talking about why they loved Trump, and they couldn't give any actual answers. They were just so indoctrinated by the Trump cult that they loved the guy. Like they were like 12.
I think something I've noticed as well with like just like whether it's our generation of people before us or after us, people hate forming their own opinions. So it's easier for them to follow someone else. It's like the whole sheep versus not like what is it? That one mindset,
Wolves,
you know? Yeah.
sheeps and wolves.
Yeah, it's like people would rather follow someone else's mindset because they're too scared of expressing their own beliefs. They don't want to get shot down, you know?
I don't even know that it's that. I think they're just. I think people. They don't like changing in general. Like I think once somebody identifies themselves as conservative, it's really hard to be like, wait, do I really think this way? Or are they just going to keep going along with it because it's comforting? It's what they are. Like I used to fall on the conservative spectrum, and it took a long time of just slowly learning about things and what's really going on. And I don't mean that in a conspiracy way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in just a what are their talking points and what are these people's talking points? Like, I don't know.
I agree with that. Like,
But people won't do that though, you know?
Yeah.
People are too scared to look at like they don't want to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, yeah. It's important to understand the argument from the other person. Like,
I was just gonna say I hate the term devil's advocate because every time I think of devil's advocate, it's always like that like the white like econ major in your classes and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
well, actually, Ben Shapiro was on to something.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wait, no,
yeah.
I didn't. We had one kid like that in my science class last
Right.
semester.
Those are the kinds of people that play that call devil's advocate.
Yeah, but use it incorrectly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we just call those people the devil.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so I
Well,
want to
I mean-
backtrack for a second, right? Back to when we were talking about global warming, food shortages, and everything. So, what do you think is going to be the cause of our world as we know it? You know,
The
People
devil.
the
very-
end.
Yeah, people think a lot. There's a big one. I think the big ones are AI, right? Global warming, food shortages, and then all out war, right? Am I
Yeah.
missing some?
I think a very real possibility is nuclear war. I think that's gonna be the end of us.
We saw how scary it was when like the Russia Ukraine started popping off, and then nukes started getting like they were just talking. Like, the fact they're even getting talked
Into
about,
discussion, is
should not be allowed.
Yeah, they were talking like tactical nukes and like, yeah, that was scary.
I think everyone knows they don't admit it, but it'll be a domino effect as we know it. You know,
Right.
a second one nuke pops off, three
Well,
more will follow.
that's what mutually assured destruction is. That's been around since the Cold War.
Right.
The
Is
idea,
that what it is?
Yeah.
because
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
if Russia knows that if they bomb us, we're not just gonna sit there and be like, oh, we just got bombed. We're gonna bomb them. The only reason we didn't get bombed back during World War II is because Japan didn't have any nuclear warheads.
Yeah, I mean, even today, nowadays, it's not even just once we get struck. Once we detect they've launched a missile,
Yeah.
our missiles go up, or the other way around.
Wasn't it in like 2007 or 8 or something? Russia like had like a false bomb notification, and then like it was so close to the world. Like
that, I know you're talking about the
Yeah.
one guy stopped it.
yeah, that one guy stopped it.
Okay, so
That's crazy.
that was a while ago. That was during the Cold War.
Oh,
Like, they're in the
There
80s,
was a
yeah.
guy on a
Okay.
submarine, and they lost comms or were having an issue, but it was like during a training exercise. And for whatever reason, they thought they were under attack. So they were going to launch because their orders were if they were being attacked to launch and assume it was war, because why else would you be getting attacked? And they thought it was an attack. So they initiated the sequence to launch. And the guy who turns the key to arm the system and launch it, it goes from, or sorry, not arm, to launch. It's already armed. Was unsure, and he decided not to turn the key. If he had turned that key, that would have likely been the end of the world as we know it. But luckily, he was unsure that he was actually being attacked and decided to wait, and it turned out it was a false alarm. Like, imagine being that guy.
Yeah, that guy. But I don't know if it's true, right? But Russia, so let's say Putin makes the call to launch nukes or whatever.
Mhm.
it's actually up to like who like the commander of that area or whatever to actually make the final decision if he's gonna launch it or not.
I don't know if it's like administratively up to him, but physically, yeah, it's up to him because he has to actually do all the actions to launch.
Oh, is Putin the only one?
No.
The
The person,
yeah.
that person, like
Yeah.
Putin sends out the command to launch, and that's when, like you see in movies, like they get a paper that's just like Delta, Gamma, like
No.
Charlie, like just they will get a thing that has the exact code that says to launch, and if they get that code, they're supposed to go through the sequence. But obviously that doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's been so many close calls. I was watching a video earlier today. The U.S. Air Force, back during the Cold War, would fly B-52 bombers around the U.S. because our missiles weren't good enough to hit Russia if they struck first. So if Russia struck, we wouldn't have the ability to strike back. They could take out our communications network, and we wouldn't be able to get the command out. Things like that. So we would fly bombers around the United States with nuclear warheads on them.
Oh,
or
really?
bombs, sorry. Constantly. So if we ever got bombed, there would always be a way to go bomb Russia. But at some point, one of the planes went down.
Oh, in like North Carolina or South Carolina or something.
Yeah,
like that?
and they the plane ripped itself apart and the two nukes dropped. And one of them deployed its parachute, which I'll get back to. The other one went speeding into the ground and did not detonate. It was going faster than the speed of sound. Went like 16 meters, I think they said.
So
into
is it
the
like
ground.
dead then? Like it wasn't.
It
active?
wasn't armed.
Oh, okay.
They didn't arm it. There are four. They said there were 4 safety switches safety features that you have to activate to arm it. The other nuke that deployed a parachute. Side note. Tactical nukes sometimes do what's called an airburst, where they explode above the ground to make it
that's
boom
more deadly. Yeah.
When they're gonna do that, they deploy a parachute to control their descent.
Holy shit.
That bomb activated 3 of the 4 safety features. It was one mechanical switch away from exploding. There was one switch, literally a physical 2 metal pieces that were separated, and then if they come together, that bomb can send a fire signal. What turned out was all 3 of the previous things were armed. It sent the signal to fire. If that signal had reached the core, it would have detonated. But because these 2 pieces were not touching, we didn't have a bomb go off in the United States, which likely would have caused a war because we wouldn't have been able to tell NORAD that it was our fault, because they would assume it was Russia and immediately launch. So, like, we've had our fair share of...
Imagine, like, how different the world would be. Just
Yeah, actually, though.
I mean, they already screwed it up for us with
How much-
climate change. It's taken a little longer than a nuke.
right.
Thanks, boomers.
Have you guys seen the movie or read the book Ready Player One?
Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier.
That's
Just,
what I
we
was
were talking
thinking
about
about now.
overpopulation and stuff.
Yeah.
Literally, they're in like Cleveland, Ohio, and they're like stacking the trailer parks up on top of one another. That's gonna be us just 5 years from now.
Yeah, I hope not.
I know, still stuck in Ohio.
Dude, imagine if, like, the world one day gets to a point where you can just, like, choose to either live in the real world or live in the virtual world. Like, that's just a life decision you have to make at some point. Be insane.
That'd be better, though, no? Living...
Dude, no.
I don't know.
I like just
It
like
depends what's left of the real world.
Yeah.
seeing what Mark Zuckerberg like just went for Meta and stuff.
That's
Oh,
so
like,
scary,
that
bro.
dude.
Yeah,
Have
I'm
you seen that
terrified
though?
of that.
Like the actual metaverse
It
they
looks
have
horrible.
going
Yeah.
is so terrible.
But
Like,
the idea of it is scary, though, no?
Well, like
Yeah.
if it could 100% like if we could like actually do what he wants us, like what he wants for it, I think that would be horrifying. I don't think I could go into it. Like,
yeah, I don't know that, like, I mean, like, a lot of people think of like things like VR chat as kind of a metaverse,
mhm.
but I don't know that they'll ever. I don't know. Like, do people really want to be that sucked into a virtual environment? And maybe
Some
I
do.
don't know.
I don't.
Some do because they have nothing going for them out here.
You're right.
Maybe
it's
it's a better escape than drugs.
To some it is because there's a whole different life out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still see this as like a net evil.
Oh no, I think it is.
I
too.
think that's just,
I mean, I think it's just the new social media. Like,
Have you guys ever played VR chat?
No.
You have?
Mhm.
Have you played a lot of it or just a little bit?
No, a little.
No.
have you played it?
I've dipped my feet into VR chat kind of like extensively.
You have a VR?
It's a desktop game,
Well, yeah, but
but I don't have a VR. But I
shame.
played it a while. Like I have a few hundred hours in it, right?
Mhm.
But people actually like live in there, bro. They'll spend the majority of their like either they go to work and get off and only in VR chat.
There are a lot of I know it's really popular in like trans communities because like they can just go in and be somebody else.
Because it's more easy to be accepted. Like people accept everyone. Like
Yeah.
that's like your ideal world in sense of like people accepting everyone type of thing.
Yeah,
Although
but
I will
we need that for
say
the real world.
They accept everyone, but they also accept some pretty insane
They
stuff
do
too
accept
occasionally.
too many things. Yeah, VR chat's a weird place.
It's
We'll get freaky in there. Never mind.
I mean,
Never mind.
there's a lot of content in VR
Yes,
chat.
there is.
Yeah, we gotta say that for like the D302 after hours.
Actually.
But no, definitely 100%. I stay away from.
Wait, did you ever
Some of
answer the question? What do you think is going to cause the world being ending?
Oh, I answered it.
Yeah, well, it was-
Even though we're asking
What
Isaac.
did you say? What was your answer?
I said nuclear war.
Nuclear. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't like making assumptions like that or guesses.
Oh, I feel like this
or-
is an easy assumption, though. No.
I'm split. I don't think I lean any one way, but war is definitely a big one. Mass starvation, mass famines.
I mean, I'll start eating
huge-
addi before I start to
I
die.
would not be surprised if we see just huge weather events.
Sharknadoes.
No, like
Sharknado.
Have you guys
What
ever
was-
watched that movie?
oh my god,
Yes, I have.
we're not.
I've watched
doing
all-
that.
I watched
five
all
them
of
or
them.
something.
I've watched all. I think there's 6 of them. There's like Sharknado, and like the final one is like the final Sharknado. It's about time, but it actually was about time because they were time traveling.
Have
like-
you guys seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yeah,
That movie's a banger for sure.
Mm.
I remember my brother. It was like I don't even know how. Like this was before he even did school, so I was probably like in kindergarten or something, first grade. And he was telling me that there was this movie that came on the Disney Channel, and he was just trying to tell me about it. And I was like, Logan, you just made this up. There's no way this is a real movie. It just sounds so cool to like first grader Lucas. And then we finally found the movie in Toys R Us. We found the movie in Toys R Us, and
Yeah, back when that was a thing.
yeah, actually, I think they're coming back. I think
Yeah,
they're
I
coming back.
heard they're coming back. Yeah.
But I had the it was the one that like during certain scenes you could put the 3D glasses on. And I remember
I hated those things. man.
really no, it's so cool. We went to like my aunt's house till like immediately after, and we watched it. That was core memory right there. I was like, "What do you, Logan? You're right. This is the coolest movie ever." Because they had like man, the Shark Boy was like my hero.
Do you remember the second one, the Shark Boy and Lava Girl? And then they
Oh.
had like a game one, right?
No.
Are you thinking Spy Kids?
Yeah, you're thinking of Spy
Ah,
Kids.
Shit, I'm thinking of Spy Kids.
Dude,
that
Spy
one
Kids
was, a
was
banger
my that was
too,
my
yeah.
core memory.
Really?
Yeah, I had that on a repeat on like the VHS when I was sick. That would be on a
Dude,
repeat
yeah.
the whole. They would just spin over and over and over and over.
Spy Kids was some good stuff.
All I know, like, I'll be honest. I think I've only watched the first one.
We're gonna change
Really?
that. Have you seen Cody Banks?
I've not seen Cody Banks.
Who's Cody?
Wait, is
Banks?
he a YouTuber?
No. It was a movie. It was
Oh.
it was sort of Spy Kids, but a little more teenager, I guess. I don't know. Sounds like a YouTube.
It does
Yeah,
sound
well,
like a YouTuber.
Cody Co exists.
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking. That's who it reminded me of. Cody Co.
Gotcha.
But don't watch Cody Co. Watch the D302 show on YouTube.
So going back to the original question here,
Oh yeah,
I think the world's gonna end by war as well. I think.
it's so
Well,
anticlimactic.
Aren't you original?
Yeah,
I'm so
it's
proud of you.
original.
Boo.
I wanted to give my answer. I think it's gonna be war because I mean it's the most plausible. In the like, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
we've seen how weird the world's been moving the past year.
Honestly, I put half my money on another pandemic.
Dude, that's like right around the corner.
The way COVID went, we're screwed if it actually kills
I hate
people.
saying I open Instagram like once, like a lot, you know.
Once a lot.
Yeah, and then like I'll see an article from somewhere. And it's like new virus out of China. It's like it's every day, you know.
Yeah,
Well, there's
and like monkeypox
monkeypox.
recently.
Yeah, they're just like they're milking the whole like
well,
pandemic
the
thing.
the
now.
monkeypox was just a reason to hate gay people, which it didn't even make sense. But yeah, they certainly are. Yeah, yeah, there were a few others too.
I think
And I mean,
polio had a resurgence.
yeah, I heard about that one, and the bubonic plague. I think
The
came
bubonic
up a
plague's
few
always
weeks
somewhere
ago.
out there.
Yeah, yeah, it's still around.
I heard though, like now we still have measures of like countering it, but I also think I could see a world where if like nuclear war happened and there were still pockets of society left untouched, I could see the bubonic plague just wiping through there too.
Oh yeah, yeah, it killed off like 2/3 of Europe or something. There's some pretty deadly stuff out there.
Do you guys remember like pre-COVID, like the week before COVID? Like, okay,
Dude, I remember going into my class before COVID and they were like, all right, we're going to wipe down all the desks, but nobody was wearing a mask.
no one cared.
And
'cause-
it was like nobody realized what this was going to be.
well,
Like,
that was the thing. Yeah, you're right. Like everyone just kind of thought like,
they treated it like a cold.
right.
Like, it
The-
was,
Yeah, the new cold variant's out. You know, you might get the
I
sniffles.
wish I
or
could
so.
speak on it because I feel like that'd be a fun experience.
You didn't
know?
get to live that though,
No,
because
I dropped out of high school before COVID happened.
I remember going into like my history class and my teacher, we were watching the news, and because like he was like, "You guys hear about this new virus? It's been going on for like a week," and it was like the week we just got back from Christmas,
mm-hmm.
and we're all like,
Yeah.
"Yeah," and he said like he was just like, "Yep," he's like, "Don't worry, guys. After January, after February, March, a little bit of April, once it starts getting warmer, this whole thing's gonna go away." And we're like, okay. And then I remember there's like a case of it that like wiped out a nursing home out west or something. Like a woman went to go visit her grandma or something, and
Yeah.
it just hit.
Dude,
the,
I hate how skewed the numbers were though during the whole pandemic thing. You know.
You mean the pandemic?
Right, yeah.
Okay, I don't want to be one of those guys, but like, come on, you know the numbers were so bad.
I just don't
I
think.
don't think
I think we were is lowballing. I think it was lowballing.
Really?
You
Yeah,
guys like
I think-
we have no actual frame of reference.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, we're just talking out of our asses.
yeah,
for
you
sure.
guys both are
Yeah.
just talking out of your ass.
Yeah.
But I
The-
feel
But that's
like
the whole podcast. Literally,
the
last
light-
episode, the
Yeah.
episode before, the episode before that.
yeah.
I
all we
mean,
did
we're
was just-
trying, but like, there's already enough misinformation out there. I likely it would fall to it was a little more than there were people that actually died. I would guess, just like assuming COVID or something, but either way, I mean, it could go the other way, and they could assume that it wasn't COVID when it was. So I mean, it's likely that that number is somewhere near accurate. And certainly people died from it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure. I'm not gonna say no one died.
And
from
it's
it.
not
People
like they
did.
were saying millions upon millions died, but we did cross 1 million. Like it was certainly not an insignificant amount of people.
Well, yeah, it's like 1,000,000 and 100,000, 100,000 versus a
He's
million
just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
I got lost. I don't-
versus 1,200,000. What's the difference?
But you know how people said before COVID hit, like people were sick the Christmas before, right?
Mhm.
I was dead, like I was super sick before that
But,
happened.
but you didn't have COVID.
No, there's a lot of people
don't know.
that think it might have hit earlier.
I
than
think
we
COVID
thought.
did hit earlier than
There's
it,
a lot
than
of
it
people
happened,
that,
yep.
that suspect that.
I can't see it.
Because like Trump was all about like, oh, we don't have any cases. Oh, we only have one. Oh,
With
we have
extra
cases.
zeros after it.
Yeah. So like I feel like at the start they really tried to hide it and were just like they were waiting till they actually had a confirmed case before they were like, okay, it's here. But that doesn't mean that there weren't plenty of cases. They might have just waited to confirm it. Like
I
I don't know if it was identified then as either, you know. People could just saw it as a cold.
Right.
But then as new testing came out, people might have like ran the test back or
I
something.
seem to recall it got called COVID-19 pretty quickly. Like that
It
that
may
is
be.
the type of virus it is. So like I don't remember exactly when it got named though.
I
I
remember.
say right away. I think I got named right away.
Yeah.
I remember. We didn't like back where like in Irving County. No one called like it was just the corona. I remember I didn't even start calling it like COVID-19
Damn
until like
Kentuckians, bro.
months into it. It was just like,
You got the
The
corona,
coronavirus.
the beer, or the virus?
well, yeah, like it was just I don't know, the corona. We got the coronavirus. It was just it's funny because now I only call it like COVID. I don't even know what the side tangent is anymore. But
Yeah, I
it-
definitely called it Rona a lot more.
I call it Rona a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never called it Rona.
Like, oh,
Now
he's
I
got
just
the Rona.
kind of
you
call
know?
it COVID.
Yeah.
Like that's just basically all it is now.
Well, I remember a big like outbreak or something happened at the San Diego airport, and like there was a bunch of COVID patients there, and literally like a week later, me and my family flew into San Diego.
Oh.
And I remember that was crazy because
Was there people in hazmat suits?
no, but there were like just not when we were there. But I remember like some of us developed a cough afterwards. But
Y'all definitely had Rona.
I think we tested like the antibody test a few months later, and it was still in the time frame I think where it would have tested the antibodies for it, and we didn't. It came up negative, but I think that's just so crazy because I remember I was like, what if I was the first person to give it to people like around me at my school?
Like you with patient zero.
You
Right.
should be ashamed.
Actually, okay, I heard this somewhere, but apparently, patient zero was a myth because it's supposed to be patient O, and people just read O as zero, and
Yeah,
that's
I
where
think I've heard that.
yeah. But also at the same time, I probably heard it on like TikTok or something. So take that.
Isn't
with
there
you.
like a news like zombie virus right now?
Oh.
It's like popping in.
you mentioned it
Oh.
in China or something? You
Was it
mentioned
China?
I think so. You
I don't
mentioned
know
it.
what it is though. Is it an animal? I know animals have some type of zombie virus. It's like the cow disease. or
Oh,
something.
that's right. It's like related to rabies, isn't it?
Yeah. It like
Yeah.
it freaks up their brain and it just makes them eat anything.
Dude, I'm so excited for the Walking Dead
Dude,
future.
Imagine a zombie apocalypse. That's how the world ends. Cool. no?
Samurai sword and an
It's-
AR-15.
I heard like like
I don't think it's possible though.
it's not because like it would. It's not gonna last as long as The Walking Dead because
Yeah.
those like the bodies would rot. So if you wanted to survive, they say just go somewhere warm, where human flesh can't last for that few days, and then like
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
spoken
The
about.
actual idea of zombies isn't possible, but like you could have a ravaged or like just I don't know, savage human that for whatever reason just
Like a crazy
wants to
virus.
eat people,
Yeah.
and that's how they end up surviving. Like they're able to just.
What if they're like World War Z zombies and they just fast
Yeah, I mean,
as
that-
hell, strong as hell? You know?
Well, have you guys seen I Am Legend?
I have.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking. Like they would still be human, but they just wouldn't have quite the limitations humans have, like because our brains limit how much our muscles actually do. So they'd probably be stronger and faster. And if the virus makes them hungry for
It's like their
people,
permanent
it's like
fire to fight zone. They're just perma fighting.
Yeah, but I mean that type of zombie theoretically, if they found humans to eat, could
it's just like a different part of like a variant of rabies, probably
Yep.
the most likely
yeah.
scenario.
Dude, rabies is scary.
I know they like make me so terrified of it because like they're like, yeah, once you start showing symptoms, it's over.
Yeah,
for
you're
you.
done.
Yeah.
You have a month to live. Congrats.
Is rabies that bad?
Yeah.
If you
I think
if
it's only
you're
like 3
showing
days.
rabies symptoms,
But we
you're
can't
done.
get it. Like, what if like
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
can.
can.
Can we?
Yes, you can.
So how does it work then?
So like an animal will bite you,
Yeah,
and if it's infected with rabies,
you're just dead.
then
no.
it'll be inside of you,
Yeah.
and it might not even show symptoms right away. So you could be living with the like rabies virus and not even know it until like years later, and then you start showing symptoms.
But as soon as it shows symptoms,
It's
you're
over.
It's
screwed.
too late.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like if like, you
What are the
hate,
symptoms like?
you hate sunlight, well, like basically a zombie.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's disturbing
Holy- I
what
had
happens.
no clue it
you
is like
should,
that.
Yeah, you should look into it. And if you're ever bit by an animal that looks not how it should, even if you're just bit by an animal, you should go get your rabies
Mhm.
shot. If there's any reason you could have rabies, you should just go get it and it's like a couple shot thing. You have to like go in a few days later. But
So does it
saves
kill you
from-
though from the?
Yeah, it makes you go crazy and then just
Well,
kills
because
you.
Okay.
you become like hydrophobic and stuff, and I think you might die of dehydration.
Because you
like-
don't want to drink anything.
Yeah, because you hate water and stuff.
Yeah,
Huh.
somehow it will kill you.
Maybe it just melts your brain. I don't know. It's just. But
So what
then,
if
like,
you inject someone with rabies and just put them in like a room?
okay, there's an episode
That
of
would be
Criminal
a
Minds.
horrible death.
There's an episode of Criminal Minds where they had like they infected someone with rabies, and then they just kept it going, and so then that person that was infected with rabies bit someone else, and then once the first person died, then the next person would go and bite someone else, but it was all in like one room. So like he would go kidnap a person, bring them back to the room, get
Oh, that's
them bit.
weird.
Yeah, it was such a
That show is so good
messed.
though.
It was so messed up though. But that's what it was. Like they just did, like it was just infecting his mind so much that literally one of the ladies with rabies like was like roped down with like the leather belt and stuff, and like she just ripped it because like she just didn't feel really pain that much. I don't know how accurate that is, but
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
yeah,
it's
you're
not gonna make you like,
super strong. but-
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I mean,
Humans-
humans can lift cars.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, with
it-
adrenaline.
Yeah, you'll break your back doing it, but you can lift a car. But yeah, there's a reason you can't do that in your everyday life.
I could, you know.
Well, of course,
Right,
of course,
Of course, yeah.
Let's just go ahead and arm wrestle right here, right now.
Well, I can't embarrass you like that on the pod.
Oh, I see.
But, yeah, awkward, bro.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we're running with an hour and 8. Just heads up to you two. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
This might be a
I mean-
little longer than our normal pod, just because we do have a guest with us. It's
Mhm.
not just me and
I'm
Addy.
special.
Certainly,
Can't wait for
bro.
future guests as well. I hope we can get recurring guests at once every few weeks. You know.
Yeah, but
Well,
we
I
for
mean,
that
do
we
you want
actually
to go
need
back to space? Talking about space, we didn't.
So we
really
talked about
actually
Mars,
talk
right?
About that.
And then, dude, the one telescope just happened.
the James
James
Webb.
Webb.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a telescope.
And there's
Thanks, Lucas.
Well, like
So-
that's what you were
I'm playing.
saying. That's what you were saying.
I know.
yeah,
I was
so
making fun
like
of you.
the telescopes we've had previous, like the Hubble saw in the visible light spectrum, and due to how light works, and something called the inverse square law, light will shift towards red on the spectrum. So as you go farther away, it shifts farther and farther red,
That's called the Doppler effect.
called red shifting.
Literally just explained what it was.
It's the same idea as Doppler effect, though. They both are caused because of the inverse square law, except for that's with sound, whereas this is with light. But as you get farther and farther away, it shifts redder and redder and redder, and eventually it becomes infrared, which can't be seen with a visible light telescope. So the James Webb is seeing an infrared, which will allow it to see things that are much farther away. Much farther away than the Hubble. It'll also allow us to do things where we use both telescopes at the same time to capture two different views of an object, which I'm not smart enough to understand, but will help us learn more about the universe. And it's gonna be pretty cool what we learn from that thing.
I still find it crazy though that we know more about space than we do our own ocean. I wish we like.
That's not
That's not
that's
true?
wrong.
Is it not?
We know
really?
more about the surface of the moon than we do about our own
Oh, okay.
ocean. Not the entire moon and not the universe. The surface of the moon.
Do you think the moon
Which
has
is still
anything
cool.
cool in it, or do you think
No,
it's really just a floating piece of rock
What's a floating piece of Earth?
Actually,
of Earth?
the moon has a very high gold content and heavy metal content.
So there's metal
Um,
inside of it.
No, I mean, yes, but it's like, think of it like minerals in our dirt. It's evenly distributed.
Okay.
And it makes up a lot of the moon. And so, and we also find a lot of heavy metals from asteroid impacts, especially because it doesn't have an atmosphere.
Mhm.
So there is big possibilities of like mining operations on the moon, but that's about it.
I love the idea of mining asteroids.
Yeah.
I just wish it was like it's not possible yet though. But I think it's
mean,
awesome.
we've landed and taken a sample from an asteroid. So you could consider that mining.
Yeah,
In its most basic form.
Yeah.
yeah, not quite literally. It is. Yeah, that is mining.
Yeah. But yeah, asteroid mining is whoever gets into it first is going to
Oh
be
yeah, so rich.
so insanely wealthy. There's so much money. And the other thing it'll do is bring the prices of those materials down.
Yep.
Like our modern world relies so heavily on metals, but they're kind of expensive. Like aluminum is double the price of steel, and stainless steel is double the price of aluminum, and steel is not cheap. So all these materials are super important, let alone all the not more advanced, but just harder to find materials that are out there. And just going out and just collecting them off of an asteroid is going to be huge.
I hate that we're still using our like natural resources now still, you know.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty far in science to the point where we don't have to rely on like
That's my
the
argument.
coal,
I think
oil,
it's,
you know.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper to use those renewable resources now at this point than
That's
to
why
use,
they do it. Oh, you mean like the non-renewable? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it. I certainly believe we need to go to renewable, but I also think we just can. Like you guys
I
are
think so
saying,
too.
like we need renewable and we need nuclear, and we're good. Like neither of those two things can do everything, but together they will provide plenty of energy, and we don't have to dig up a single more dead dinosaur.
And
Like
we're so close too, as well. Dude, I don't know if it's fusion or fission. You have to correct me on
Fission.
that one. Fission.
or fusion is what's coming. Fission is what we have.
Fusion is combining.
Yes.
Yeah. Once we get that too, we'll be fine. 'Cause
Yeah.
the amount of power from that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I think, was it you who said that one? Like, imagine just each like little town or something just has its own fusion reactor. You know?
Yeah. The energy is a coffee mug of the fuel for nuclear fusion is equivalent to an entire train of coal. And trains are miles long. That's a lot of coal.
Yeah.
And the fuel for nuclear fusion, it's not crazy hard to find. It's not super easy either.
Don't they just
But-
make it though?
I'm
Or
not
it
sure.
depends. It depends on the fuel, right?
Yeah, but it's deuterium and tritium, which are isotopes of hydrogen, I believe. But I'm pretty sure those are pretty common outside of Earth. If I'm not wrong, the moon actually has a decent amount of them. So we have ways of getting more of that. And so that's not really a big issue, and it produces an insane amount of energy. And they produce clean water too, which is just kind of a byproduct of having a nuclear reactor.
See, doesn't that sound so nice?
yeah, the
But it's
perfect
not here
world.
though. Not here yet. I was following this one company. It was in America, I think, that they were able to like make something happen, but they're struggling right now with getting it to hold for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, we can make fusion happen. Yeah. We just can't, yeah, like you were saying, it doesn't become a chain reaction, which means
It's a weight. It's not efficient.
we never make more energy than we put in.
Yeah.
We always end up putting in more energy than we get out of it. However, there was recently a company, I think in Japan, that moved that bar way closer. And I can't remember if they ended up getting a net gain or just barely below it, but they were close. And so we're gonna see fusion almost definitely in our lifetimes, if not soon. And it's gonna be huge.
That'll be a game changer as we know it, man.
It will and it won't.
Actually,
why are you saying, man?
No, because it will be.
That will
we
be
won't
a
have to
game
worry about
changer.
electricity anymore, but everything else is still an issue.
But we can like, I think the bigger like projects that need more power or something. 'Cause I'm sure there's some projects out there that we don't know of yet that
I mean, a
require
wormhole.
more power than like,
I mean, basically a wormhole.
What if we have teleportation, but we just don't have the power for it? You know?
It's entirely possible. There's a few theories that think that wormholes are we just don't have that power to bend space-time, but with enough energy it is possible, and that we could just be like, all right, we're gonna make a wormhole here and here and just do it.
Do you guys believe in the whole like parallel universes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think it's just
I'm
too.
gonna have to
It's
go.
too cool not to believe in it.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to go with my standard. I don't decide things I don't know.
that's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
But
I
feel
know for a
like-
fact there's a universe out there where I'm freaking Shark Boy.
I think it'd be very dangerous to play with time.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, there's just too many paradoxes that I can't see time traveling existing. There's just way too many paradoxes that like block it.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons why it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
Therefore, I don't think it would work. But there isn't. But no one has found like
Evidence for or against it.
well, it basically, yeah. There's a lot of very strong evidence that says it wouldn't work, but nothing like 100%, because we can't really know for sure until we actually try, kind of thing.
I think it's
But-
just if anything, either okay. I think because there's multiple timelines and stuff. So like I know like probably one of the most popular time travel paradoxes is like the grandfather paradox, where you go back in time and kill your grandfather, and now before he has kids. So if your
Mhm.
grandfather never had one of your parents, then you were never
The
born.
butterfly effect, right?
Sort of.
Well, yeah, yes and no.
But if you were never born, then you couldn't go back in time to kill your grandfather.
Right.
So how could your grandfather be dead? So I guess it's like if you go back in time and kill your grandfather, now there's two branching timelines. One where your grandfather's alive, and one where your grandfather is dead. One where you never exist, but one where you do exist.
Yeah, I should have made the caveat earlier that going to the past time travel is almost definitely impossible. And going to the future is almost totally possible, which leaves
'Cause you
you
can do it
back to where we started. But
With
you-
cryogenic, right?
That's not
You can
That's
technically do that.
yes, the actual way is you go to the largest star in the universe and orbit it for a minute, and
Or
then
the
you
black
come
hole.
back.
No? Is that
to,
real?
like a black hole.
Yeah,
Like
that,
Interstellar?
Or like
yes,
a black hole.
that's called time dilation, and it's from Einstein's theory of relativity, which says basically that objects. What was that?
I think
Alright.
Millie's just
The
going crazy
ghost.
outside.
Anyway, that objects in space can, depending on their mass, bend what's around them, space time around them. So you trying to explain this the best way. Here's a good
It's like
example.
an Interstellar.
Well, I was-
Well,
yeah.
here's a good example.
I was thinking of
it's
like
like
a-
Interstellar, but our satellites.
Yeah.
They are technically moving or like counting time at a different time pace
Faster,
that
right?
we are. Slower.
Oh.
Stupid.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a definite answer on that. But because we are closer to the Earth, it affects us more than it affects the satellites. So we have to make sure they stay in sync. And part of that is satellites all have nuclear clocks on them, which are insanely accurate, which help with that. But yeah, like, or if you orbited a black hole, that would totally do the same thing, and you would go bolting into the future while everyone else is left behind.
So I guess
Interstellar.
with that theory, then technically time travel is possible,
Yeah. I
but you
guess,
can't
yeah.
go backwards though.
Yeah, they're you. Again, it's not like totally for certain, but almost for certain. Yeah, good luck.
Huh.
You're not going back in time.
But if you just go the other way around the black hole,
There you
Well,
go.
the other thing is once you go forward, you can't go back either. So you better be sure.
Well, that's why.
yeah.
That's why you go backwards to reverse time. I've seen Superman.
Dude, okay. Superman is way overpowered. Like,
Yeah, that dude's too OP.
all those movies could be over in like 5 minutes. Like, do you have an opinion?
I don't know. I just don't think the movies really handle like I think Superman is such an interesting character, and none of the movies ever do him justice. I feel like he's just such a like him being overpowered and still like trying to be a human. Like it's just such an
Yeah.
interesting concept. And I saw somewhere that like during an interview, like I think it was like Warner Brothers saying how like they're like, yeah, we have no idea how to make Superman relevant in today's world. And I'm like, then you're stupid if you can't make an immigrant just trying to be
Well,
like everyone else.
well, yeah, immigrant, yes. Looks like an immigrant, no.
Like
I mean, I guess that sounds wrong, but like he's just not representative of today. Like, he's supposed to be like this shining example of America, and he's just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just want to burn America to the ground.
And now more than ever.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Captain America is kind of the same way. Like, I feel like he's losing his just.
Well, I feel like they stand for what America should stand for, and I can't really see anyone saying that like what Captain America and Superman are like for today's America, which I guess is what they were trying to say with like today's relevance and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like America's not really justice and stuff.
Right.
It's
Yeah. I
not
mean,
really-
I think they're also doing a decent job of like bringing in a more diverse, just characters like that better represent America.
Right.
You're starting to see representation of minority groups and things, which is really good. They're still not doing a great job of it, but
well,
They're trying.
Well, the thing is just so crappy to see like people complaining about like wokeness and stuff when like just like virtue signaling and stuff. And I 100% see companies virtue signaling like during
oh yeah,
Pride,
Yeah,
like during
it's
Pride Month
so
when all of them make
disgusting.
their
The logo is like
the
Yeah.
rainbows, but literally everyone knows like these
they're
companies
supposed
don't
to, like, quote unquote, they're supposed to do this, you know?
right. But we all know that these companies don't support LGBTQ.
Yeah, they don't care. They just want money.
So like I can see that, and I definitely can see like Disney being grouped into that categories. But at the same time, I think this is just really relevant with the Ariel
You talking
Discourse.
Lightyear?
Huh?
Lightyear?
No, well, yeah,
You're
Lightyear,
talking,
but
you're
also the
talking-
Ariel
yeah,
the Little Mermaid,
yeah.
the new trailer where
'Cause she was black in the new one,
right and
Oh, I saw a meme about that.
yeah, and everyone's complaining that like they're like, oh, this isn't accurate,
Yeah.
and I'm like, shut up.
Did you see all the videos of the young black girls going insane seeing her on screen? Like,
Right.
it was.
Well, it's
They're
just
all
like
so happy. Why
they're-
not?
they're like, I don't know. It just freaking like white erasure and stuff like that, and like
yeah,
Nell
shut the
erasure.
fuck up.
I hate when people complain about that because I'm like, look at how big Disney's catalog is, where the main character is white,
Yeah.
and just shut up and like, if you are complaining that the skin color of Ariel matters, then you're just a horrible person.
Yeah, it wasn't a real person, and even if it was, who cares?
Well, like, and people they're not respecting the source material. The source material.
It was made up
Was-
at one point. If you didn't know,
Well, like the guy that made it up, it was like an LGBTQ allegory.
oh, was it?
Yeah. And so, okay. And also, I read that from Twitter. So take of that
Was
as
it
what
like
you
a
will.
trans thing?
I
don't-
think
okay.
it's something like that. But it's just, first of all, it doesn't matter what the source material is because, like I said, it's a mermaid swimming under the water. At this point, it does not matter.
It is
Just
an hour
shut
and a
up.
half long movie. Be
Right.
quiet.
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's just plain racism.
Yeah.
If
no,
you
no.
if you 100% have a problem with her being black, then it's because
Yeah, and
you're
then the gay kiss in
racist
Lightyear
a-hole.
was just people being homophobic. Like, there's straight kisses every day of the year on TV. There's straight sex on TV, on cable TV, but two gay people can't kiss because that's inherently sexual. Okay.
Well, it's just
Yeah.
America's such a weird country, bro.
yeah.
Did I mention burning it to the ground?
Well, that's the thing.
Like, it's actually so crazy how different America is to literally any other country, you know?
I mean, there are some. We're crazy, but we're not the only crazy one. Like,
we're uniquely crazy. you know?
Finland still forces trans people to get sterilized in order to transition legally.
See, that's
Like,
And people never
Might be
people never
Sweden.
hear about it either. But Canada, they're like trying to erase the Native Americans up there.
yeah,
dude, there
yeah,
are a
100%.
lot of fascists in
Yeah,
Canada.
they are erasing them as we know it. But like, you don't hear about it anywhere. You
Yeah,
know?
there was a whole like section of Canada trying to secede, which I mean happens here like yearly, but you know, and I mean Canada's kind of wild. Although I will say they're pretty good at getting rid of guns.
Yeah.
They banned them after we had a shooting. Wasn't even on their soil.
So like, you know how the old American dream used to be like people coming here like getting a job for freedom, and then like
died the day they said it.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think the American dream has changed so much to the point now there is no more American dream. You know?
Yeah,
I just feel like it doesn't exist because
the
it's not
American
allowed to
dream exists for a very select few.
That's
A very select few.
that's crazy that like if you aren't a straight Christian white male
With money, with power and connections, and grew up in a good area, and aren't screwed for some other reason, and you're healthy, and you can afford medical care. Like
there's just so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then like you're just America. America sucks, bro.
Yeah.
No, it does. I like.
Or
I say I hate this country, but also like I'm happy I was born here. But like, God, I hate this country. You know.
Yeah, it's better than the Taliban just destroying all the progress made in the Middle East. Although there wasn't a lot of progress to begin with.
Like we
'cause
have it bad.
We
But
destroyed the Middle
Yeah.
East, but you know,
it's worse elsewhere. You know. We just have
Yeah.
our own problems.
or Ukraine getting bombed for something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are at an hour and 27 minutes. So with this bleak note, maybe okay. I do want to have.
Should we end it on a lighter note at least?
Do we have a lighter note to end it on?
It's just been like world destruction.
Yeah,
it
moving
really has.
backwards,
How's the world
bro.
gonna end?
This has been
Like- Holy shit.
well. We could talk about aging real quick.
Aging.
There's been a lot of progress made in like what causes aging, and there's been a lot of developments recently just learning about it. And recently, I can't remember if it was the FDA or another organization, but no, it was the FDA. Because the FDA has to list ailments you can have for them to get medicines to treat them and to get research funding to treat them. And the FAA has to consider that like an ailment or a sickness. So they recently actually considered, they included aging in that so that people researching aging can actually start really researching it, which is really good for the future of that. And we're also just learning more every day. I don't have a ton of specifics, but like it is very likely we'll see much longer, not like insanely long lifetimes, but we might gain a 10, 20 years. Like that might totally be a
I
thing.
think that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah. I just need to. If I'd be fine dying at like 100, as long as that when I'm 99, I'm not some frail old man. Like they just need to make me like if I could keep my like let's just 50-year-old body. If I could
Yeah.
keep that up until 100 and then die at 100, I think that's a pretty satisfied life.
Yeah. I don't think I'd want to live forever.
Well,
Yeah, it's
no,
gonna
that's-
be a really hot take here, but just for myself though. If I don't have kids or any, if I'm just me and like a while, you know, I don't want to make it past 40 or late 30.
40.
Early 40s
Okay,
is my
Juice
max.
World, Jeezel.
Okay,
I
he left much earlier. But if I got kids and everything, I want to live to like early 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah, I don't
I
want to
think
be
you
around
need
forever,
to find
bro.
some reasons to live.
All right.
No, I
yeah.
mean I just don't want to see what's gonna like. I just want to be out, you know.
I'm
Kids should
I'm
be your
happy
only reason for
living
living,
as
bro.
long as I'm comfortable. But yeah, I understand your sentiment of if the world is
Yeah, like at this
that
pace, bro, just get
bad.
me out. Just get me out. I'll watch from the sidelines. I'll haunt this bitch when I'm dead.
But all right, well, like I mentioned, yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us today, Isaac.
been good.
I think it's been really fun. Really,
Yeah,
I
this is
liked
a
it, I liked
banger
it.
episode.
Yeah.
I
this
think
went well.
Mhm.
IMO, yeah.
A little bit of editing here and there, but you know,
yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is. But would you go ahead and press that orange button?
There's a few. The big one or a small one?
Oh, the big orange button
All right,
above.
here we go.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Like the applause.
Yeah, that's the applause. I hope everyone hope you guys enjoy this episode. We do plan on getting more guests here soon.
They're kicking me out.
Kicking you out, yeah. We're going to go next. We'll be back with you next week. Find us on Twitch, find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, the other
Soon
one
to be
YouTube.
Instagram.
Yeah,
D302
show.
show.
Maybe it'll be like the D302 Instagram or something. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it.
Yeah,
We'll
we
find
got-
it somewhere.
Check descriptions and stuff, and it'll be there.
Yep.
But alrighty. Anything you would like to say before we just sign out?
No, be nice to each other though.
All right.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Appreciate having you guys. Been a
All
good
right.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.